Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, My Study. And in this video, we are going to create one code pipeline that is just going to execute some of the commands. So we are not interested in a very first step like a source, not interested. Then we have a build step where we are interested, but we are just simply going to execute some of the command like a simple Linux based command, and then we have a deployment part. But in a deployment part also we are not interested. We are not going to deploy any application anywhere. So we just need some Git repository or anywhere some source code exists, although we are not going to touch upon any of those code. So we'll just take into granted the existing any of the GitHub repository, and we'll just simply go ahead. So let me go to my Cloud Console. Okay, so here we have a code build and we have a code pipeline. So we are just going to create a complete pipeline where code build is a part of it. So let me just check whether I have any existing connection with my GitHub account or not. So if you don't have an existing GitHub account, you can definitely create the new one and point out to your repository. Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, I have already created earlier this conf. So that is nothing but pointing to some specific, the complete account. Out of them, you can specify some specific repository also. Now, in case you want to create the new one, you can always go ahead and create the new connection and point out to any third-party GitHub kind of system, either Bitbucket, GitLab, GitHub C. Okay. Now, if you don't know how to create this connection, in the earlier videos of many DevOps series, I have already I have shown you how to create this connection, so you can always go back and refer to it. For now, let me go to my pipeline and I'm just going to create a new pipeline. So currently I think I don't have any pipeline, so let me create a new one. And this pipeline we are going to create, give the name, like let's say we'll just want to start from custom pipeline. Let's say that will be command pipeline. Remaining all option, almost we are just going to keep it as it is. We don't want to touch anything because the objective is to show you about the one very specific thing. In this particular case, that will be nothing but a code build step, that is step 4. We are just simply going to execute some of the commands. Okay, some networking failure. Let me select the new one once again. Enable automatic retry on a stage failure. Not sure why this is happening. If I just try for GitLab. Okay, so currently there are some networking failure, it says. I have active internet connection. If I just go to my GitHub, maybe some GitHub APIs are not working. Let me just go to GitHub. Okay, so I am successfully able to logged in into my GitHub one. I have existing some of the apps also. I can just simply point out to that particular place. Or let me just go ahead and create a new connection. That would be better. In this way, I'll show you how to create the connection also. So let me create the new connection. That will be GitHub based connection. Let's say I'll just give the name like a con GitHub. Okay. Let me connect to GitHub. Okay. Install new app. So I'm just going to allow some specific repository, or I can allow for all repository. Alright, let me connect it. So connection establishment didn't create any kind of problem. Now here only it's creating some issues. Let me just go back to my previous step. Let's say GitHub version 2. Yeah, now it's being connected. Now I have a 2 connection, but the connection which we have just now created, we are just going to use it. Now I can take any repository because we are not going to deal with any of the repository for now. It is just simply that we just want to execute some command. Okay, remaining all thing I'm just going to keep as it is, like based on push only it's just going to trigger, and it's just going to trigger on my main branch. Okay, next okay, now here the important part, that is what the objective for this particular video, and that is nothing but I just want to execute few commands. So let's say I'll just write like ls, so it's just going to list down all the files while the building step. And let's say I just want to go ahead with something like hello world. Okay, let's say I just want to get some of the files like package.json. I just want to display. So here it's just gonna have a complete idea about the repository. And let's say there is a one more step like execution ID. I just want to print it. So I can use the commands like echo, and we have a pipeline code pipeline dot pipeline execution ID. So with every execution, whatever default pipeline execution ID being created, that will be printed here. Okay, so earlier we skipped this particular step, the building step. Now in this particular one, we have created something in a build step, but in a deployment we are not going to deploy anywhere. So I'm just going to skip deployment step, and let's just go ahead and create the pipeline. Now the very first time this pipeline is anyhow going to be executed automatically, because that is being first time being created. After that, every single time you push something, it's just going to trigger it. Okay, so let's just wait for some time. So here you will be able to see the complete logs, a step-by-step execution for every single steps, like a source step, then we have a build step, and it will be automatically updated. See, first step being successful. Now we are into second step. So once you go to the detail here at the log side, we will be able to see all the commands which we have written in a build step that will be executed. See, here on the right hand side you will be able to see first step source finished, build step it's still going on, and this is the execution ID, and that is what we are expected that it will be printed while executing all the commands. Okay, done. If you just have a look at the view details, here you can have a look at all the commands. See, there are some verbos being written here, that how this pipeline build step being started, and once it enters into build step, it just executed all the commands which we have written. So ls eventually giving us all the listing of all the files from our repository. See, next thing is echo hello world, a very simple one. Next, get your package.json file. So this is the content of package.json file, and at the end we just try to display this echo pipeline execution ID. Okay, after that all the commands being executed. So build step succeeded, and post build nothing. Okay, so this way we have successfully executed our pipeline. Now suppose the same thing, if you want to run once again, you can go to your any of the file. Let's say I'll just try to change some of the things. This is like a readme. Okay, committing change, and here we will be able to get as a history another execution being started. And let's just go inside and check the logs corresponding to our build and source and a build, both of this step. See, both got succeeded. Exactly similar steps of command being executed here also. There is nothing changed here. Okay, so that is all about this video and how you can execute the steps of command as a part of this build step. Okay, so I hope you enjoy listening this video. Please do like and comment on my video, and please do subscribe my channel. Now before I leave, it's always good idea, I don't require this pipeline stuff to be remain, so I'm just going to select and let me simply delete this pipeline. Okay, I'll get back to you in the next one.